it was taking that sort of step back and going, if I just take a few weeks out and find somebody to sew for me and start doing all that research into manufacturing, which it just felt so daunting, and I felt like I've never worked with manufacturers. I didn't know where to start, I didn't know what to expect, and it just felt like a massive jump. And I think that was a massive shift for me. What I do is I work with a manufacturer, but I also work with a machinist who comes in on a freelance basis. So if I'm doing like a smaller commission, we'll do that in-house, and we also hand finish some of the bags in-house, but the manufacturer makes up the bulk of them. But having the flexibility of, you know, working with people like Nikki, who's my machinist, that will come in, it just means if someone approaches me and is like, you know, I want you to do this, I don't then think, oh, I have to physically be the one that sews that. And it's just great having this pool of people now that I work with and I trust, and you know, they're all skilled in their own rights, and I just call them in and they're quite happy to come and work on something. There was a massive shift for me in that between first and second year, and I think last year was a lot of me making these changes. I've changed manufacturers, I've changed suppliers, like I've had to figure things out, but because I now have the confidence to actually go and meet a manufacturer and talk about minimum orders and, you know, like production lead times, I know their language, so I think I probably come across to them as somebody who's more professional, and I've just now got time to sort of create a plan of what Laura Spring's doing for the future.
More recently, I've started working with UK manufacturers because it speeds up production time, quality is really good, and they create beautiful products, and that's something that's really important to me. You've got to be really honest, and that works from both respects. If you're starting out as a small business, you're not going to need hundreds of products initially, so I think it's good to tell them up front what you want, and they'll give you an idea of what they expect back.
Our production is all done via our Glasgow-based studio and also London, so depending on the size of the order. For example, I'm doing an order for an independent boutique, and right now myself and the other girls that work with me, we are currently, you know, we do all the patterns in-house, we do all of the first samples, and then that gets sent to our London-based manufacturer who make up all of our orders for us. At the stage of our business, I don't ever see us really going overseas to do manufacturing. I kind of quite, again, it's the control thing, and it's being able to sort of keep a hold and keep track of everything that's going on, and obviously the communication level as well. And it's just so much easier for, you know, a small business like myself to be able to just jump on the train down to London and make sure everything's okay. So, and you know, we kind of pride ourselves in the fact that, you know, all of our product is sourced and based in the UK as well. When you go down and you're meeting your manufacturers, it's really important to make sure that everything is sort of explained as clearly as possible. You know, that's why I find it important for myself to make the first sample, so I can then explain how to put that together to a manufacturer, and we kind of work together and work out sort of the pricing structure and how, you know, how we can sort of manage it, because they know that obviously, you know, I'm a small business, I'm not, you know, a big player. So, you know, obviously coming down to the last penny is like super important. So yeah, it's just about working together and sort of finding a sort of balance. I think for me, face-to-face contact's much better. You know, you have your sample, you go down, you explain how you want things to go about. I've only really ever had one bad experience, and luckily enough, the manufacturer basically made a dress, and we had sort of 3 different fabric components that were needed to be in this one dress, and I thought I'd explained it clearly enough. Obviously I didn't, and the dresses all came back with one layer of, like, just with one fabric instead of these 3 components. But we kind of, you know, we worked on it and they took them back and they fixed it and it was all fine. I think it just all comes down to just experience. You're never going to be perfect, and I think for me the biggest sort of challenges and things that I've learned have been through the mistakes that I've made over the past 3 years. So yeah, you know, you can get taught how to do your sort of costings and your pricings and stuff at university, but until you're actually out in the real world and you're actually dealing with suppliers and dealing with manufacturers, you know, nothing can really prepare you for what you're going to be faced with. But it's quite scary, but at the same time, you know, once you kind of get the hang of getting into a routine and sort of, I mean, I've been dealing with the same manufacturer for 3 years now. They know my product inside out. They know what to expect. There's no sort of scary surprises when they get my patterns through. But yeah, I think, and also just being like sort of, you know, see it from their point of view as well as your own. You know, they're dealing with so many different designers and so many brands that, yeah, they probably have quite a lot on their plate. So, you know, and obviously with myself, you know, only maybe doing like sort of small orders. You just need to be really patient with the manufacturers and just sort of take the time to sort of sit and explain absolutely everything really clearly to them as well.